Mobile Schools, brought to you by Infinite Inquiry Incorporated. It's a Teach Your Way Today presentation. Teach Your Way Today, a guide to the business of homeschooling, edited by M.A. Lucas Green, available on Amazon for $6.99. We hope you'll subscribe to Teach Your Way Today and get a chance to listen to the Mobile Schools podcast, available wherever you get them. Okay, I'll admit it. I had a girl crush on Mrs. Frizzle. Anybody know her? This group and I got a fill of macro and micro excursions through the Magic School Bus's adventures. Our home base at the time, however, was in an old house that could be considered today a bando, an old abandoned house that I converted to a schoolhouse. Take a listen to the podcast of the same title, Trap House to Schoolhouse, another Teach Your Way Today episode.
Dear Judge Brasher, we are very thankful for the opportunity to inquire about the judicial branch of our government. This experiment aided our studies of the United States Constitution. It was exciting to hear you welcome our group so graciously. We are pupils in an experiential education environment. The universe is our classroom. We have modeled our small academic society after the ideas of America's founding documents, dedicated to democratic life, scholastic liberty, and the pursuit of academic happiness.
The original schoolhouse operated for students between kindergarten and 8th grade. So by the time that premier cohort of students had graduated to the 8th grade and were off to high school, it was time for me to reorganize and decide what the next move was. Whenever I need to regroup or reorganize, I go back to my youth and to my ancestors and commune a little bit. And from that, I came out with another idea. The Winnebago that my grandfather once owned that he really couldn't afford, but it was the most amazing purchase he'd made for the Lucas family. So somewhere in between Mrs. Frizzle and the PBS broadcast The Magic School Bus and my grandfather's Winnebago, I came up with the idea that schools could be mobile, especially now during COVID. Why not bring the school to the family versus the family to the school? Disclosure, my husband works in corporate aviation. Reverse, he worked in corporate aviation as of last Friday when this picture was taken. It gives me a little bit of an unfair advantage as pertains to executive coaches and how they operate in the sky, on the ground, and really even on the water, since they're all fairly similar. It was his experience with Gulfstream and the design of a new fleet of jets for the Coca-Cola Company, and his experience as a crew member on the Coca-Cola corporate jets that gave me insight as to how the executives continued to work while they traveled. Keen attention was paid to the interior design and captain's chairs within the cabin of the corporate jets. The Gulfstream 600, this particular one, had rotating leather chairs that also reclined, which allowed people on board to collaborate or to go independently. Additional features included the recline, where passengers could nap. I was particularly taken by the sofa, which was extendable to a bed. Now, as a teacher and a mobile schoolhouse, there was no need really for sleeping space. But if a student got sick, it was super important for me to be able to accommodate them on a long trip or travel to their home or even to the nearest hospital. And this is the design that we've settled on. As a homeschool provider, generally my class sizes are never larger than 8 students. So this bus accommodates 7 with seatbelts plus a driver. There is a fully functional restroom aboard, There is a microwave and a refrigerator, along with counter space for meal prep, lunch prep specifically. There's also a teacher desk there in the front that will allow me to operate from within the coach versus from just the driver's seat. That is not a seat-belted space there, so it's really just a stationary position. And each of the children have automatic desks that go up and down. So some people ask, well, where will you go in this bus? Or will the students be stuck on the bus? So the short answer is that I'm an expeditionary teacher, and all of the teaching that I do involves experience and travel. Not only do we focus on expedition and experience, democracy is paramount, and bilingualism, Spanish-English bilingualism to be specific, is critical. And yes, when I was young and crazy and in love with Mrs. Frizzle and the Magic School Bus, we did a lot of travel. We traveled across the United States and some international travel. This go round, we're going to stick to regional because I'm starting with a younger group of kids, day trips, things that we can go to and come back from in a day. I hope you'll subscribe. It would be an honor to have you follow and see if I can provide you all some of the trade secrets that the profiteers might keep private, but as someone who loves children and who doubles as a public servant, providing the intellectual property to provide serious and superior service to families is what I'm all about. Join me.